So guys, to make this kurma, we're gonna start by adding some spices to our flour. And I have all-purpose flour in my bowl, and I'm going in with some freshly grated nutmeg. Next goes in some cardamom or elychee powder and some cinnamon powder. I'm just gonna mix these ingredients in to make sure it's incorporated properly into the flour. Now I'm gonna go in with some milk powder, but this milk powder is totally optional. You don't have to put it if you don't have it. And I'm just mixing that in. Next goes in my cold butter. And I'm gonna use my hands to break that butter into the flour until it resembles fine breadcrumbs. Okay, now that that's broken in or cut in into the flour, we're going to go in with some fresh ginger, and I love putting tons of ginger when I make kurma. So feel free to put as much or as little as you want. And guys, if you wanted a soft kurma, just add a little bit of baking powder to this and you can get a soft kurma. And I'm gonna go in with some sweetened condensed milk, and I'm just going to mix that in. And now I'm going to go in with some water to bring this together. Now you want to go very light on the water, and you want that water to be absorbed into the flour properly, because you don't want a wet dough. You want a very, very, very firm dough. Now some people like kneading their kurma with milk. You can do that if you like. I personally prefer the water. I find it also gives it a more crunchier kurma. So you see how I'm adding a little at a time? That's what you want to do until you can get this to come together. And I know it looks crumbly, but trust me, it's perfect as is right here. So guys, once it comes together into a ball like this, we're going to move over to our floured surface. And now you're going to take your rolling pin and roll this out to about half of an inch thickness. And if the ends are cracking up, don't worry about that. I'll show you how to make it look really pretty. Now once you're finished rolling out your dough, this is what I like to do. I just like to take my pizza cutter and go in and tidy up the edges. So now all we have to do is cut this into thin strips. And then you're going to cut these into smaller strips. So what I'm going to do is just put one in and test it. I want to make sure that the oil is not too hot. So that's perfect right there. I'm going to go in with the rest of kurma. Now you can fry these in batches because you wouldn't want to overcrowd your pot. And make sure if your kitchen is hot, you would want to keep the kurma in the fridge until you're ready to fry the next batch. That helps keep it nice and cold so that it's really nice and crunchy when you fry it. So I'm going to do this in two batches, this first set and then I'll do the next batch. So we're going to just let this fry here. Be very gentle with it. You don't want it to break apart. I want to show you guys something. Look at the kurma. Look how it's expanding and it's creating layers. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's expanding. You see that? That's it, creating those flaky and crunchy layers. Once you finish frying all of your kurma, you want to set it aside. Let's work on the pag to coat these delicious kurma pieces. So we're going to go into a saucepan with half a cup of sugar and a quarter cup of water. And we're going to mix this. But you want this to be on a low heat and you want those sugar crystals to dissolve. Now I want to tell you guys, if you wanted to add some cardamom powder or elychee powder or some fresh ginger to your pag, you can. I prefer doing it this way because I add all of my flavors already into that kurma. So guys, the sugar water is starting to bubble away. Those crystals have melted. I'm going to let it continue to boil in here. Now what I'm looking, so guys, I can see right on the side of the pot here, I don't know if you all can tell, you see that white substance that's on the side of the pot. I'm gonna try to get some for you all to see. You see that? That's when you'll know that your sugar syrup is ready. So now we need to pour. So let's pour this into our kurma. Now you'll notice I'm using a plastic bowl. I love to use a plastic bowl because it actually helps that sugar syrup to come off really easily when it's time to clean and wash up. If you were to use a glass or a metal bowl, it really sticks and it's really hard to come out. Now all we have to do is mix. Now as you're mixing, you're going to start seeing how that sugar is turning white snow-like on the kurma. And that's it. That's as easy as it is to coat your kurma with that delicious pag.